So, things didn't go to plan. I don't really know how to actually start this video. So y'all kind of know the baseline because it's the title of this video. I did not complete 75 hard and kind of sucks, but I'm gonna give you guys the whole rundown, what I learned, what it was like, why I failed, will I do it again? I'm just gonna go through and answer all of that. So I guess the first thing to address is basically why I failed. And honestly, I thought it would take a really rough day to make me fail. I didn't think it was just gonna be a normal weekend day and I would just kind of give in, but that's what happened. Also, to give some pre-context before that, so I failed at day 62. And I had been getting pretty frustrated with 75 hard probably for the couple of weeks leading up to when I tapped out. It's hard doing the same thing over and over and over for every single day. I just got kind of annoyed with it. I guess I failed at where it got really hard for me and kind of sucks. I beat myself up for it at first, but you know, I still did learn a lot from it and it was definitely good for me. And there's a lot to take away from doing 75 hard even if you fail. So not that this challenge is for everyone, but if you're thinking about doing it, even though I failed, I honestly still encourage doing it because you learn a lot about yourself. And if you do fail, you also learn a lot about yourself when you fail. When you succeed, I mean, obviously I didn't succeed, but I imagine, you know, you really understand how far you can go, or maybe you just have more drive to push yourself even more. Like I said, I didn't get to 75 days, so I'm not sure what, you know, what I would have felt if I did, but that's my guess. So I'm definitely not gonna say it was fun and butterflies the whole way because it probably wasn't like that for most of it, except for maybe the beginning where it's exciting, but then it's still like really hard because it's brand new and you have to figure out how to fit it in. But to kind of give a broad strokes of my whole journey through 62 days of 75 hard is at the beginning, I was really excited, I was motivated, I was figuring out a new routine to get it in, so it was hard to fit in, and sometimes I had some later nights, but I did well at that at first. I got everything done right away in the morning. I got most of my action tasks done by like maybe 10 a.m. or so. I just had to make sure I didn't drink and didn't have a cheat meal. That's how it started, and then as it kind of settled in, it got a little bit easier, but I also found days where I ended up pushing it aside because I knew I could do it. So that made me push it back to things I wasn't sure I could do. And then I ended up having a couple of nights where I was doing a late workout or doing my 10 pages at 10 o'clock at night after I got home from work. But it didn't happen a lot, but that started trickling in. And then, so I started on August 18th. So that was like the beginning. You know, especially as things started getting pushed to the side as my school semester started. As my semester's picking up, it's getting harder and harder to fit it in. But I'm still going, I'm still feeling good, I'm grinding. And then I start getting frustrated with it. I guess I kind of felt stagnant with what I was doing. Because it was the same thing over and over. And it was frustrating because I wanted to spend some of my time doing other things, but I like had to complete this challenge and it was getting really frustrating. And it was a Saturday on day 62 and we went to one of Bobby's sister's birthday parties and it started at early afternoon and it went for a very long time, and then next thing I knew it was nighttime and I hadn't done my outdoor workout. I could have gone outside in the driveway and done something late at night, but I said screw it. And that's my decision, and I beat myself up for it that night and the next few days, but you know what, that was my decision. That's what I chose for myself, and that means I didn't complete it. And I know I could have pushed and done it, and I didn't. And the reason why I failed is because I didn't want it enough. And right now I'm reading David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me, and he talks about preparing for those times when you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? Why am I pushing myself like this? And from day 1 to 61, I had an answer, a good enough answer. On day 62, I didn't, and that's why I failed. That's really all it comes down to. It's kind of taught me that to prepare more for hard things like that. And I think reading this book after is also really interesting because I feel like reading it during would be very motivating and all this stuff, or maybe even before, but reading it after having just pushed myself through a hard challenge, but not making it all the way, it's teaching me like what psychology kind of was going on and why I tapped out. But enough about why I failed, because honestly, it's not some crazy thing. It's not some mystery. It's really just because I didn't want it hard enough that day. I didn't have a good enough answer for the why I was doing it. And that's it. But as far as what it taught me in more positive aspects other than just when I was tapping out, it really reinforced how much you need to honor a commitment to yourself. It's hard to do all that for 62 days. A lot of people don't make it to 62 days. And I said this to a girl I work with today. She was talking about getting consistent at the gym again, and part of why she started working there because she's new. I've heard this saying so many times that I didn't realize that other people hadn't heard it before. But it's the saying, I don't know the exact words, but it's more of a concept of if you told your best friend that you were going to go to the gym with her 3 days a week, you're going to stick to that because you promised your friend you're going to do that. You're going to show up for her. If you promise yourself that you're going to show up to the gym 3 days a week and work out with yourself, you're much more likely to not do it. And that's because most people don't honor a commitment to themselves. They don't value themselves as much as they value somebody else. I kind of learned this already, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but it really reinforced that. And most of the days, my answer to why am I doing this, it was because I promised myself. But when you're really frustrated with it, that's not a good enough answer. So I'm not 100% sure I'd do it again, but if I did, I would definitely plan out a lot of whys. When those days come, I have an answer to that question. Another thing it taught me is just that I'm capable of more than I thought, because it sounded crazy before I did it. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. The worst part about it was doing the same thing over and over and over and over again when you want to change things up and focus on other things. That was honestly the worst part. The repetitiveness. You know, I thought the 2 workouts a day would be really hard, the getting in the reading would be really hard. But it wasn't. It honestly wasn't that bad. You can fit a lot more into your day than you think. And the whole concept of making time, that's a whole nother thing, because I scheduled myself out. I fit that in. I said my workout in the gym's happening at 8, my yoga outside's gonna happen at noon, I've got work at 1, I did all of that every single day. Well, I can't say every single day. I did not do that properly a few days, and those are the days where I ended up working out at 9 o'clock at night or reading my pages in bed trying not to fall asleep. But I still got it done those days. Another thing I learned, this is kind of weird, but despite it being hard, I realized I could have pushed myself more. I was focusing on the fact that I had to work out every single day for 75 days, rather than making every day of those 75 days hard. If I do 75 hard again, obviously I'm still gonna have rest days because rest days are so important. But if I do that again, this sounds so like masochistic, but I'm gonna make those days hard. I'm gonna work out hard. My lighter intensity workout is still gonna work me. And maybe I'll do something different for my diet process. I don't know. It just will depend on whatever I've got going on. Maybe I'll do it like a 75-day cut and I have to keep below a certain calorie level or something. But diet isn't diet, meaning not going on a diet, but just the way you eat and eating healthily. Not really hard for me anymore, but it used to be. So like, believe me, I know I have not been a person who eats healthy all the time. Like, I want to do a video where I talk about my whole fitness journey and kind of like where I've come from and how I've got here, but I did not used to eat healthy. I had no idea what healthy was. I want to do that kind of soon, so keep an eye out for that. But wrapping back to where I was, which I'm not really sure where I was. Oh, the diet. I might do something different for the diet, but I'm not a fan of restriction, so we'll see what I do with that. I might just be sticking to tracking again, but we'll see. I guess some advice is, again, to prepare for those whys. Schedule out your workouts and everything. Make a routine before you start. decide when you're going to do everything, what time of day, what's going to happen. Decide your routine and have backup plans for days where it goes wrong, where days when you have spontaneous plans, because you don't need to be completely regimented for 75 days. Like, do you know how many hours are in a day? And you just have till you go to bed to complete every task. Like, if you have to stay up, then you have to stay up, but you have to push yourself. Those are the days where the challenge is going to really challenge you. The day where you're off and you can fit in your workouts and your 10 pages and you have all your food meal prepped already, those are the easy days. Those are the good days of the challenge. Those are the days that show you how easy pushing yourself can be. Those aren't the days that change you in this challenge. It's the days where it's hard to get it in that change you. And the days that are hard to get it in are the days that could potentially make you fail, like I did. But it's so worth it. And I guess to finally answer, will I do 75 hard again? I think so. Most likely. Not 100% sure, because who knows what my life's gonna look like, but I am not doing that in the cold, in the winter. Earliest I'll start is March or April if I do it again. And I might be looking to challenge myself, but I'm not looking to freeze my ass off. I hate the cold, so it's not happening in winter. That's just not something I want out of life. And maybe that makes me less hard because I wouldn't do it during the winter. But you know what? Plus, I want to get through holiday season and be able to have a drink and kind of socialize in more of a relaxed way than worrying about all this stuff. I love fitness, so I'm still gonna push myself. I love drinking my gallon of water every day. I'm still gonna do that. I love reading. I'm still gonna do that. Honestly, I already did most of the tasks that are in this challenge. But it's the everyday, over and over and over. That's the hard part. That 100% is the hard part. Yeah, so I wish this video was me telling you I completed 75 hard. This is my transformation. This is what I learned. I did the damn thing, but maybe I'll be making that video next summer. But that's about all I had. If you guys have any other questions about what 75 hard was like, you know, advice for beforehand, I don't even know, just any questions at all about 75 hard or just anything in general, feel free to leave them in the comments below or go on Instagram and message me on there. But if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and tick the notification bell so you don't miss any new content from me. I upload new videos at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.